Let's get ready for the last division in the American League, which is an exciting one for us because we have family that lives in this kind of division in Texas, so it's fun. So the American League West. And this time the pick goes to you, Todd, on the American League West. What do you see, and how do you foresee this division lining up? As everyone knows, not last year, but the year prior, the Rangers won the World Series. Then they didn't get in the playoffs at all and had a really tough year. So let's see what you think is going to happen in 2025.
The funniest part about the first place team I predicted, which is the Houston Astros, is that they now have the shortest left fielder in all of baseball as Altuve makes a transition to left field. Because they signed Christian Walker. I think he's 34. I think this is it for the Houston Astros. They have to win this year. And so I think they make a big push for it, coming first. I have the Rangers in second. Although I kind of want the Rangers to be in first, but I think the Astros are first. Mariners are in third because it's just sad. The Angels are a tragedy, just an absolute tragedy. And the A's, dear God.
So you have the Angels 4 and the A's 5th.
Yeah, but I'm looking at this now. I don't even like my picks. Could invert all that. You could put the Rangers first and the Astros second and the Mariners third, and then switch Oakland or Sacramento or the Sacroland, Oakland, Mentos, and the Angels. You could put the Angels last. Yeah, let's do that. Angels last.
Okay, so Todd 2.
A's fourth.
So Todd
and
2.0. Angels last. A's are fourth.
A's are fourth. The Mariners are going to grip on the AL West third place for the rest of humanity. They're never changing. That's always going to be there. And then, Astros first, Rangers second.
So I think we went through a maze of things, but then Todd ended up with what he had originally, which is he has the Astros.
No, except the A's are in fourth.
Oh, he moved the bottom tier, which you don't see the A's or the Angels competing for any kind of wild card position.
I think the Angels finished in a tragedy reminiscent of Shakespeare.
Fantastic. Dad, what do you have for this division?
Well, clearly it's a division in two parts. It got 3 really good teams and 2 really bad teams. So you've got, Seattle, Texas, and Houston, who are going to all compete to get into playoffs. I'm predicting the beginning of the erosion of the Astros. I'm predicting over 162 games, the Astros finish third. So I've got Texas in first and Seattle in second, Houston in third, but still, they are still possible to make playoffs. And the last 2, I wanted emotionally to go with the A's because I just would love to see them win, not finish in last. But in the end, is the left brain that's logical. I went with Angels fourth, A's fifth. So I went with Texas, Seattle, Houston, Angels, A's.
Interesting. I believe last year, I don't have this, but Todd, I know you can look this up. Where did the Angels and A's finish last year? I thought they were tied at the end of the year for last place in this division.
Oh. I don't know.
If you want to look at that, I think that's interesting. While you do that, for the folks in the audience, we get to do our BadderSports payroll session of the American League West, because there is a team that we all think is in the bottom tier, including myself, is the Anaheim Angels. And to get to the bottom and not even be relevant, because I would even argue that Toronto is somewhat relevant. They have good players and they're going to have a good record.
We don't. Wow. No. The A's actually finished in fourth place last year.
I thought the Angels went toilet bowl at the end of the year, and the A's beat them for some odd reason. So the Angels
were an Australian toilet bowl. They circled the other way.
The Angels' payroll to not be competitive at all is $191 million. So $234 million for Toronto, which we all think is they don't have a terrible team. The Angels are bad. They're really, really bad. And the A's are currently and they had an uptick. They're paying $58 million this year, similar to the White Sox. So you have the Angels, 191, BadderSports projected team of the year. We have another one. We have another client in the race, and the Anaheim Angels seem to do it all the time, or the LA Angels now. We always remember as Anaheim. So let's start.
Same thing.
The bottom for me is the Angels just because of the BadderSports idea. 191 million reasons for them to be last. I have the A's in fourth because when you play in a minor league stadium and Major League Baseball players come to that stadium, they don't effort as hard as they would in a regular Major League stadium. I think being in Sacramento is going to kind of be stinky. I think the whole experience is not going to be where they want it to be. So I think that makes it a little difficult. Now,
wait, you're saying that because professional athletes are not playing in a big stadium, they play worse?
Some players, yes, because it's just not there. There's just not the stadium. That's my theory. Well,
how about this? The A's signed Jeffrey Springs and Luis Severino.
Mm-hmm.
The Angels signed Travis d'Arnaud and Kelly Jansen. The last time you saw Kenley Jansen, he was winning the speed skating competition in the Olympics in the early 2000s. That's where the Angels are.
Well, we all know that was a different guy. But, Todd, I made my predictions. They're set in concrete, but I am really heavily persuaded by you two people that Sacramento will beat the Angels in the standings.
I like how the debate right now is the 4th and 5th place, which is going to be irrelevant when
it's imminently more interesting.
So I'm just thinking about this disaster. We talk about the White Sox as a disaster. The Angels not only are spending a lot of money to lose, they're in a city competing with the Dodgers for fan support, for money, all the extras that go along. Are we actually beginning to see the possibility of them moving and just giving up LA to the Dodgers and becoming the Nashville Angels?
Ooh.
I can't see Major League Baseball allowing them to leave LA, to be honest with you. I just think that they want two teams in LA, just like New York. Again, we can dive into this as the season goes on, but obviously they have an issue with the A's, and they have an issue with Tampa. They have issues with other teams. The Angels are not an issue. They spent a lot of money. They just aren't successful. I think if you just move the Dodgers interior and move them over to Anaheim, everything works out a lot better.
I think the key is, are you playing it to an empty ballpark every night? And it probably won't be, because there's a large population and a lot of people who can't afford Dodger tickets who would go to the Angels game as plan B. This is the team I can afford.
That is true. So let me finish up my picks here. So I have the Angels 5th, the A's are 4th. I struggle this year with the Astros, and one of the reasons why I struggle with Houston is because I could see them being, still being good, still being relevant, because they have a lot of, the names. It's like the bias that you have with the team, and you have a bias with who they are or who they used to be. Seattle is the same thing. I have the same bias, which is why we always stick them at 3rd. They just can't get over the hump. I still feel that Texas are they over the World Series hangover from last year? Are they ready? Are they hungry? Are they ready to do it? So, again, you go to the top 3. I have the Rangers, I have then Houston, and then I have Seattle, and I could easily see this swapping around and, whatever it may be. So I'm not like sold on the AL West like I am on the NL East, or I'm sorry, the AL East, where I like the Orioles a lot. But Texas is loaded. They're ready to go. I think Houston also. I think that'll be a good deal going on. So that's what I have for the American League West. And are we going to get into the playoffs for the American League as far as who we see as wild cards, or we just this is what we see right now for the?
I think we do playoffs a little later.
Okay,
yeah,
we can certainly look at that. But these are our picks, everybody, for the American League. I hope as we get going over to the National League, I think the one thing to note is on the AL Central. I agree with both of you. I don't see a wild card coming from there, but I think it would be very, very interesting if one did, because it would steal like these like concrete teams in my mind that are going to be there.
Hmm.
So